Welcome to Rewatch Party, where we are going to be talking about Fight Club. Uh-oh!
We're bad.
We're bad boys.
We're very bad. I'm Harrison Bloom, also known as Tyler Durden 2.0.
I'm Zach Horowitz, also known as Zach the Crusher. I'ma crush you in Fight Club.
I'm Mark Green, also known as Edward Norton, but not in Fight Club, in Keeping of the Faith, where he plays a priest competing for the affections of a woman with Ben Stiller, who's playing a rabbi.
Top tier Edward Norton reference. Love it.
It's my mom's favorite movie.
I love
Look
that
at you pulling
movie.
out
That
those
was
Edward
fantastic.
Norton references.
Yes.
Just let it be known for the NSA member listening to this, I do not aspire to be like Tyler Durden. That would be bad.
Yeah.
But you know who is aspiring to be like Tyler Durden? We'll get to
Carly in
it
this
later in the
episode by
episode. Ooh, foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing. First, let's start with the very normal status quo that we jump into in this episode. Carly is going to a hospital prom.
As you do.
Yeah, you know, hospital proms.
Here's my thing about this opening scene. It just like starts off like right in the middle of the action, and I'm like, there's something here that I missed.
Yeah, I thought that we had come in halfway through the episode.
I'm just like, it feels like there's something missing here.
Yeah.
Really shaving off lines of that script. You know, you gotta get that teleplay
It's like
in.
we started off by watching the last scene of the episode.
Yeah, I think the first line is Carly saying like, I'm so excited to go to a hospital prom. I've never been to one before. And Freddie's like, we better get going or we're gonna be late. And I'm like, are they about to get trapped in a room and they can't go to hospital prom? Like stuff happened before this.
No, Mark. The real thing that happens is much, much stupider.
Well, what is it, Zach?
Well, it turns out that this guy, Chris, Carly's hot date to the hospital prom, is not actually in a hospital. His leg is okay. It's a miracle. Also, he runs a prank channel.
It's a miracle?
He runs a prank channel.
But his leg is okay?
He does pranks, but he also performs miracles on the side.
Yes. That's just his side gig, you know?
Yeah.
A little hustle on the side. It's his passion project.
Yeah, Chris is not a hospital patient who has asked Carly to go to prom with him. He is instead the prank prince.
Oh, hell, the
you know
prank
what? I'll
prince.
accept Prince because he's definitely not the prank king.
Yeah.
He's very bad at pranks. Like, what an epic prank. You asked this girl to go to prom with you and she said yes. What an epic prank.
Damn.
Yeah, she said yes and you
really
got her to put on a prom dress.
Yeah. You didn't even take her to the prom. Like, you didn't even set up a fake, like, prom to, like, surprise her. Like, oh, it's a prank. I took you to an empty hospital.
Yeah, we all know the best prom prank is if he would have, like, taken Carly to prom, made her prom queen, and then dropped a gallon of pig's blood on her.
Oh my god.
That's the funniest prom prank anyone's ever done.
See, my
led
thought
to great
is
things in the past.
Here's my thought. You send her to a so like you say we're going to prom, it's gonna be great, and then you show up to pick up your date, and he's dressed in like full clown attire, and Carly's in like regular prom attire, and she's like, what's going on? And he's like, oh, it's a clown prom. I told you about this. And then they go to the clown prom and she's all like, wow, I feel so underdressed. I've been pranked.
You're right. That's the thing from Carrie isn't the best prom prank. That's the best prom prank.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then Carly's gonna start murdering all the clowns with her mind.
If you want to pull an epic prank, take a random person to clown prom.
Clown prom.
I remember my clown prom.
Yeah.
It was a fun night.
Yeah.
It was a fun night.
Yeah,
we have in the past made jokes about taking like clown history class, so I love this like mythology forming of us.
There's
going
just
to
a whole
clown
clown
school.
universe out there.
Yeah.
What do you mean mythology? I went to clown school.
Right, I was there too. We
Clown
took
State University.
Clown State University. The state of clown.
Yeah.
God.
Clowning is a state of mind, really.
Clowning is more than just a state of mind. It's a lifestyle.
It's true. It's true. I couldn't hack it in clown school, so now I host a podcast.
See, I do my clown gigs on the side.
Mm-hmm.
You're a stronger man than I.
That reminds me,
Respect that
Mark, do you
grind.
want to go to prom with me? It's a totally
love
normal
to go
prom.
to- I would love to go to a totally normal.
It's a totally normal and not clown-related prom.
Well, Zach just stole what I was gonna say. So you know what? No, I don't want to go to prom with you because you didn't let me get to say the not clown-related thing.
God damn it! Hey Harrison, do you want to go to a totally normal and not clown-related prom?
Before you say yes or no, keep in mind that Zach might interrupt you and undercut what you were going to say with the exact same thing.
Mark, I would never
I'm very
do that.
easily convinced by things, so I'm totally okay with going to clown prom with Zach.
Yes! Oh, I got the hottest date to clown prom. Don't tell Mark.
The hottest date? Oh, thanks, Zach. I'm very excited for
You know what they
clown
say,
prom
Harrison's
now.
the coolest guy in school.
You know,
kind of like...
we have to. That's not the next scene.
Damn it!
I appreciate the attempt.
We have to move on, and we have to move on. So our need to move on is so great that I'm not even going to point out that you fully told Harrison that it's clown prom, thus ruining your prank.
God damn it! My prank is ruined.
Oh no, the prank was ruined. I'll still go to clown
Harrison,
prom.
don't listen to that. It's not clown prom.
We go to the apartment where Harper is very angry on Carly's behalf about Carly being pranked by this idiot. But Carly's trying to play it cool. She's saying she doesn't mind. Harper's gonna catfish him by pretending to be a jazz musician.
Yes.
She says the phrase "scoobity bop bop bitch."
Hell yes.
Which I'm going to incorporate into my everyday vernacular now.
We talked about how we now want a reality TV show, of course, called Scatfish, which is just catfish, but
they scat sometimes.
Yeah, they scat
Well,
sometimes.
it's one of two things. It's either catfish where they scat sometimes, which I do love.
Mm-hmm.
You lied to me? I thought you were a girl named Jessica and skibbity bop bop ba bop bop. Or it's a show about all the people who the Scat Man has.
Yes.
catfished.
Scatman John is an actual menace.
Yeah.
He's a
He's
menace.
catfished many people.
You didn't know this, but he was carrying on relationships with 200 people.
Well, you know what they say. If the Scatman can do it, so can you.
You know, it's really surprising because, as you pointed out, Mark, he told us exactly who he was. You know, he was very open about the fact that he was the Scat Man.
Yeah.
Which really makes you wonder how he was able to catfish so many people.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like I should have been more suspicious when he said, "I'm an office worker named Carl." Skibidi bop bop badida bow.
I like the idea that he just scats him like via text.
Yeah. He can't help himself, and you know why he can't help himself?
Because he's the Scatman.
Because he's the Scat Man, correct.
Yeah.
Anyway, oh, that's funny. We have some foreshadowing, or we have some setup for a payoff that I didn't even remember.
What was it?
What?
Well, I have in my notes, the prank king is buying illegal fireworks and posting about them.
Oh,
yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And Harper says that Carly should block him, but Carly doesn't want to resort to such violent and negative practices.
Yeah.
I would like to know, what do you guys think he's going to do with the illegal fireworks?
I think he's going to set them off and scare some dogs.
Oh,
Like he says later in the episode.
That's right.
You know what? You bring up a good point.
Yeah.
Those are like that's like the highest performing series on this channel. So he just like does that over and over again. It's like
he's pranking
using
dogs.
illegal cigarettes to scare the shit out of dogs. Part 77.
That's the other thing. We should make a YouTube channel where we prank dogs. I
Dogs specifically.
bet
It's an
dogs
untapped
are
market.
very It's an untapped market.
Yeah.
And you know what? I bet dogs are very easy to prank.
That's a good. You know what? You bring up a good point.
I'm sure I could take my dog somewhere and say this is a hospital prom, and my dog would believe me. Ellie's a very smart girl, but I don't know. I don't think she knows what prom is.
As long as you say that it isn't at the vet, she'll go along with it.
I'm imagining I lay out a bunch of treats for my dog to walk through, and he like eats all the treats, and when he eats the last one, he's at clown prom.
Oh God.
And it's like, oh, you're so underdressed. You're here and you're naked.
Oh, your dog is gonna be so embarrassed.
He didn't bring the right shoes. He needs like extra large shoes for clown
Knowing my dog,
prom.
he will be very excited at seeing a bunch of people.
Oh my God.
Yeah, even if he doesn't have the right shoes. Anyway,
Yeah.
Carly
Yeah.
doesn't want to be vindictive or angry. In fact, she's been consulting with internet joyologist Sonny Johnson.
Of course. The
Who,
best joyologist on the internet.
who wouldn't you know it, is coming over right now.
I am gonna say here, missed opportunity not having Sonny Johnson also be played by Rachel Bloom.
That was literally my first thought when she was mentioned. Like, is she also played by Rachel Bloom?
That was mine as well. I was like, is this also Rachel Bloom?
Yeah, and you know what? Oddly enough, I think Sonny Johnson is played by internet personality Hannah Stocking.
Mhm.
Oddly enough, I'm sort of like, if you switch Rachel Bloom and Hannah Stocking in both their roles, I think it definitely works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it works too.
But you know what?
Rachel
Also,
Bloom can do anything.
yeah, Rachel Bloom can do anything. And also, kind of going forward, I do kind of just want Rachel Bloom to be every guest star. They're going to be
Yes.
like, this is my uncle, Martin Shay, the famous magician.
Just Rachel Bloom with a mustache.
Yeah, Rachel Bloom with a mustache. Hello, it's me, Martin Shay, and not Rachel Bloom. Let me do some card tricks for you.
She does card tricks.
I should write for this.
She's a woman of many talents.
What can't she do? Rachel Bloom, please come on our podcast.
That's the new.
Truly,
she's the new.
if you want,
Yeah.
please do.
Yeah.
It worked for Michael Campion.
It's true. Well,
But we also never got Juan Pablo Pache to really come on the pod. we did
got
get the
a
cameo. We got
and
the
we don't have to-
cameo.
yeah, and we don't have to tell people we got a cameo unless we mentioned it in the episode, and I'm forgetting.
Probably did mention it. I don't know.
But yeah, Sonny Johnson, or as her friends call her, Sonny J. I'm doing that right now because I'm a friend of hers. It's not in the episode.
So Jay,
Sonny J. Sonny J tells Carly about her Sonny style, that when you're feeling upset or angry, you just hit something. You hit the gym, you hit the grill, or you hit the bars.
or you hit another person, foreshadowing.
Yep. I think it is funny. She says all this, and later it's like, well, we did that all, but I'm still feeling kind of angry. Okay, we could hit people. Could just do it.
I kind of have this underground influencer fight club.
Yeah. But anyway,
So
also
incredible.
setting up Harper's thing this episode. Harper thinks Carly is refusing to confront her problems and that she needs to be more direct in dealing with her anger. But we go to the next scene, which introduces one of my favorite aspects of this episode, which is that Millicent got partnered with a guy from school, Derek Fox Lubner, on an English
Oh my god, Mark,
project.
did you say Derek Fox Lubiner?
Derek Fox Lubner himself, yeah.
Yes.
He's the coolest kid in school.
Yes, he is.
I mean, he's no Chad Brad Bradley, but he's,
Right.
you know.
He's no trap.
No, that's true.
He's not a CBB, but he is a DFL. Derek for life.
the Derek
Derek
Football
for
League.
But yeah, Millicent mentions this. She has this big problem. She's been paired up with this popular guy. Spencer immediately knows who he is. He's the one who says, but he's the most popular kid in school.
Spencer knows all the hot goss at the local
Yeah.
middle school.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was some reveal that, like, on the side, Spencer has been working at the middle school.
Oh my god.
I like the idea that like you just like cut to the middle
art
school
teacher.
and Spencer works there as like a janitor, and it's just like Spencer with like a taped on mustache. I think they did this joke in the old iCarly.
But actually, now that you pitch it, can I pitch one more thing?
What?
They go to the middle school. The janitor is Rachel Bloom in a mustache, of course.
Yes.
There's two janitors. One is Spencer and the other one is Rachel Bloom.
Yeah. But Spencer's like, oh, this is so terrible. He's going to make Millicent do all the work because he's too cool for it. But anyway, DFL, my best friend, walks in, and we get to now what is really my favorite part of the episode. A thing that made me happier than most things have in a long time, which is that he calls Millicent Eminem, which, like, okay, fine, that's a pretty good nickname, whatever.
Oh, like the candy
good.
or
Yeah,
the
like
rapper.
candy, like the candy or the rapper. But Millicent calls Derek Fox Lubner D-Money.
D-Money!
Folks, I don't think you understand. I don't think you understand how big this situation is.
Yeah.
If you haven't been listening to us since the Fuller House days, in Netflix's Fuller
First
House.
of all, if you haven't been listening to us since the Fuller House days, first of all, welcome.
Welcome.
Please, hope you check out Fullest House, the first run of Rewatch Party.
Please check out our first series on Netflix's Fuller House. But in Fuller House, our favorite sad little boy, Jackson Fuller, tried to give himself the nickname J-Money, and it was the greatest thing to ever happen.
Yes.
Yes.
So now so now to find out that there is a new reigning champion of blank money names.
D-Money!
It's the greatest discovery in this show.
Another thing that's fucking wonderful about this is that the actor who plays D-Money was in Fuller House.
Yes, he played one of Joey Gladstone's children.
One of Joey's demon children.
In the show.
Yeah. In the same way that the rats brought the plague to Europe. The letter money nickname seemingly latched onto this actor and was brought over to iCarly.
Oh my god. What an analogy.
We now have to watch everything this actor is in to find where the money names go.
Gotta follow the money.
You gotta follow the money.
Tune in for our new podcast, Following the Money, where we just watch shows to see if they call anyone blank money.
Where we watch shows to see if they call anybody money, and we also give really bad financial advice. Invest all of your money into crypto.
Tweets are not financial advice.
But we find out very quickly that Millicent is putty in D-Money's hands.
Yeah, they're in love.
And so is Spencer, by the way. But yes, Millicent has... The problem is not that D-Money is going to make Millicent do all the work because he's so cool. The problem that Millicent has is that she has a gigantic crush on D-Money, and I love it.
It's wonderful.
I love it.
Fantastic.
Love it so much. But we are on to the next scene. Carly and Sonny Johnson come back from their feel-good day. They went to the mall. They went to the bar. They went to the gym. In that order. It was a mistake.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Could you imagine
I feel like
going to the gym drunk?
I know.
That would be so bad.
Well, really, I feel like the right move is like bar, mall, gym. Because I don't always love the mall or the gym. So if I have like a bit of a buzz on, then I'm going to like really take to it.
Hold on. I feel like if I were to do this, not as a joke, you got to do the gym first.
Yeah, I was making a joke, Zach.
One time, a guy in my judo gym did show up drunk after like a work thing where he was drinking at it, like a work party, and it was like one of the most surreal experiences I've had in my life. Just like this fully drunk man throwing me to the ground. I was like, this is incredible. He's just like, oh God, I gotta stop after this. But yes, they had an epic experience throwing up in hot bitch yoga. That's what they call it.
Yeah. Harper's like, hey, how was your day of not dealing with your issues? And Carly's like, I'm feeling great. I'm all better. I've left it behind. And then Harper points out that she's rage crocheting. That she has
or
not
rather,
left
she
it
says
behind.
rage knitting, and Carly angrily corrects her, saying, it's rage crocheting!
Yes.
Yeah, Harper does not know the difference between knitting and crocheting, and that is making Carly more angry than anything else this
episode. And it makes me angry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Learn your knitting from crocheting.
Yeah.
It's very insensitive to crocheters.
Oh, is it so hard? Is it so hard to know the difference between knitting and crocheting? Harper?
One of them is knitting and the other one is crocheting.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
Yeah, Zach's going to explain the difference right now.
Okay, so knitting is like, you put in the needles and you like put them together and like the thread, and you make like a hat or a scarf or something. And crocheting is when you do that, but instead of knitting, you're crocheting.
I really thought you were going to say like knitting is when you make a scarf, crocheting is when you make a sweater or something.
Well, if you let me finish, I was going to go there.
That was an admirable attempt, Zach. I do appreciate that.
As we all know, knitting uses a pair of long needles to form the loops, moving a set of loops from one needle to the other that stitches are held on the needle. Crochet uses a single hook to hook the loops together directly on the piece. It is this major difference that makes crochet much easier to work than knitting.
Of course.
Wow, Mark, it almost sounds as if you Googled it and just read out the first response that Google gave you.
Oh, what? You think I just like went to marthastewart.com, the first response that pops up when you search knitting versus crocheting, and read verbatim what it said? Because I didn't. I added a word.
Well, now that you mention it out loud, that just sounds ridiculous.
I added a word.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna question your integrity, Mark.
Well,
You're
there's
my friend, and I trust you.
I'll let you know, Harrison. There's a semicolon in one of the sentences, and it was awkward to read out loud, so I stumbled on it and then corrected myself. I think I interjected an "and" at some point. So no, I did not read it verbatim. I changed it slightly.
It's like that thing.
Credit goes to marthastewart.com.
Just change it a little bit so the teacher doesn't know you copied.
Yeah, I literally added the word "and." You can't accuse me of plagiarism there because I haven't written this. I just
totally original thought.
Yeah.
So Carly still has rage issues. And the crocheting, not knitting, is not helping.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so my next note, and correct me if I'm wrong, because this seems kind of crazy, is Sonny Johnson takes Carly and Harper to influencer fight club. I have to have that wrong. That's insane.
Well, we're not supposed to talk about that, but we are talking about it, as I said in the intro. So yes, they do go to influencer fight club.
Because we have an obligation to you, the viewer, the listener, to let you know what happened this episode. Yeah, otherwise we'd be untrustworthy.
You know, the rules of Fight Club might be, number 1, don't talk about Fight Club. 2, don't talk about Fight Club. Don't talk about Fight Club. But I think the rules of this podcast are, number 1, do talk about Fight Club.
Yeah. Yes. We got to obey the rules of the podcast.
Yeah.
It's actually in our bylaws. We have bylaws.
If we don't talk about Fight Club in an episode, we are legally required to leave the podcast.
We're not in a Fight Club. We're just supposed to talk about it.
We are not in a Fight Club. We just provide commentary. There was like WWE stuff.
We have a contract. It was notarized. We all signed it.
Yeah. See, like Mark and I, we sit behind the desk and do like commentary and stuff, and Harrison's like our ringside reporter, like checking in with all the fans and stuff, seeing like, wow, you got the shit beaten out of you there. How does that make you feel? And they're like, how the fuck do you think I feel? Anyway, subscribe to my YouTube channel.
That's right. It is still influencer fight.
Yeah.
That's right. You know, I forget sometimes because they're just such committed athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, of course. Influencer boxing, is not as good as influencer fight club. We all know this. They were going pretty hard. This seems like a sketchy gym. Yeah. I mean, it seems like they're just doing normal stuff, but it is in a fight club, like out of the movie Fight Club.
Yeah. Harper immediately tells Carly, some advice, throat punch. And Carly's like, you want me to participate in Fight Club? And Harper's like, if it's going to get you to confront your problems, yes, I absolutely want you to participate in Influencer Fight Club.
I think they missed out on an opportunity to bring Victoria Justice back as Shelby Marks, who, as we all know, got fired from the UFC because of a steroid scandal. So she has to do Influencer Fight Club now to get out her rage issues.
She bit off someone's ear, Mike Tyson style.
Oh, God.
I now have the image of Victoria Justice doing that.
Yeah, I never expected that to happen in my life.
Do not like it.
And that's why Jenna Marbles quit YouTube, is because she lost an ear due to Influencer Fight Club.
Oh no!
We have fun here. This is a good, lighthearted podcast. We've never said anything that makes me personally feel uncomfortable.
Jesus. We're pushing the boundaries on this podcast. Yeah. Oh gosh.
That's what we do.
Comedy exists to push boundaries. Like sometimes we maybe talk about Victoria Justice biting off someone's ear. Apparently we go over to Freddie's apartment where Millicent is working on her group project with D-Money.
D-Money.
I had to pause after that just to take in the name again. Freddie is very into his daughter's crush. He really loves it. And Freddie thinks that D-Money's into her as well. But although Spencer thinks something is fishy. This is when Freddie overhears D-Money talking to his mom about how he says, Mom, you were right. I just had to be nice, and now she does whatever I say.
Yeah. I figured this could go a number of ways, but we should probably wait till the end to talk about it.
Yeah, I'd also like to point out that he, like, D-Money leaves to go to the bathroom, then they, Spencer and Freddie have, like, a little conversation, and then he comes back into the room, enters what we have now christened the Frasier Alcove of Secrets.
It's so good. It's the best name.
Yeah. For those of you listening, as Tyler and I explained to our wonderful co-hosts Zach and Harrison, in Frasier, whenever they are having a secretive conversation, they step into the kitchen, which is right next to the living room where they have all the other conversations. Does not have like a door to it. In fact, also has a window into the living room, but apparently is completely soundproofed from the neighboring room because they always have conversations that are secret to the people in the next room in that kitchen, aka the Frasier Alcove of Secrets.
One of you just said Frasier Alcove of Secrets out of nowhere when we were watching the episode and made me start dying of laughter.
It was Tyler.
So good.
I give him full credit for the Frasier Alcove of Secrets.
Tyler also brings up a good point right now.
Yeah.
iCarly does it. Frasier does it. Maybe the Alcove of Secrets is just a Seattle thing.
Oh, maybe.
It's a Seattle thing.
It's often very rainy there. Maybe there's like some sort of like problem with the condensation in the air.
People
soundproofing.
People can't hear because it rains so much in Seattle.
They can't hear because the Space Needle is like taking in all the sound waves.
Yes,
Oh, God.
of course.
Yes.
That's what they built it for, to hide their secrets. To create these alcoves. But yeah, he's having this conversation so close to everything else, to the point where like Freddie takes two steps away.
Where you can literally pan the camera over like 5 feet and see the rest of the cast.
Yeah, Freddie takes 2 steps away to say to Spencer, "Oh my God, he's using Millicent. Oh, I don't want him to break her heart. We've got to end Millicent's crush on him. Make sure she doesn't like him anymore." And so that's what Freddie's going to be trying to do. That's what's going on.
That's a thing.
Yep.
Yep.
We go back to Influencer Fight Club. We meet Kelly and Elena, 2 influencers who
they're very similar to each other in terms of what they do.
Yeah, one takes topless photos in front of monuments. The other takes bottomless photos in front of monuments, right?
In front of war memorials, I think.
War memorials,
Tasteful patriotic nudity.
Right, tasteful patriotic nudes.
And even though they're very good friends who have fun at Fight Club together, the internet pits them against each other for some reason.
Yeah, and they like to take out their rage at Fight Club.
I just want to know how do you get the $1 million idea? It's a wonderful idea to go to famous U.S. landmarks and war memorials and think, your first thought is, you know what I should do? I should get naked, but not fully naked, only half of me naked.
Yeah.
You know what I think?
Do you have bets? Yeah.
To me, this happens in 2 ways. One, you do it once, and then you're like, well, shit, it suddenly got 1 million clicks. I now have to do this for the rest of my life. Or you're a memorial/national monument enthusiast, and you think, in order to corner the market of national monument influencers, I need to get topless
naked
or bottomless in front of these monuments.
Here's my thing. I don't think it happened on purpose. I think it was an accident. I think, obviously, we know there are some people who get really turned on by war memorials. Some people. No one here, of course, but some people get really turned on by war memorials. And so I think like they went and just like not really thinking about it. They're just like, oh, I'm just like so turned on. I have to take my shirt off. Or maybe it was just very hot.
You know what?
It was very hot and they took their shirt off and someone snapped a photo and they were like, hey, are you posting that somewhere? What the heck? And then they're like, but wait, it's got 1 million likes.
Oh, God.
Really? And that's how it started. That's how careers are formed.
Yeah, it's completely by accident. Tyler just sent the most terse thing in the chat.
Oh no.
He said,
"So we say it?"
Yeah. He said, "So, anyways, I was pork and pigging it in Gettysburg." Question, Tyler. So I've heard of Donald ducking it or Winnie the Poohing it. I've not heard Porky Pigging it used. Is there a difference to Porky Pigging it?
I'd assume it's the same thing.
I'd assume, but also like Porky wears a jacket but no shirt. Donald Duck and Winnie the Pooh wear shirts. Porky wears a little bow tie.
Right.
So I'm just
You
like
show up, you're
curious,
only wearing a little bow tie.
Is
Winnie
Donald...
the Pooh wears a t-shirt.
Yeah.
So
Donald ducking it, of course, is when you're wearing a shirt and a hat.
Yes.
Winnie the Poohing it is when you're wearing a shirt but no hat. And Porky Pigging it is when you're wearing a jacket and a tie but not a shirt or a hat.
Specifically a bow tie.
Yeah. Bugs Bunnying it is when you're wearing no clothes except for gloves. Mickey Mousing it is just wearing pants. The list goes on.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
I am an educator. Of course, educate people.
Thank you for your lesson, Mark.
Of course, Mickey Mousing it is the one where you wear pants because you know Disney is not allowed to let Mickey have fun.
Jesus. Anyway, moving on.
You're joking now, but just wait until they announce Mickey's Gone Wild.
Oh no!
That brings up a whole new meaning to Hidden Mickey.
Well, right now is Mickey's pretty hidden, you know what I mean? Please cut that out, Tyler. Please, I beg of you.
Tyler, leave mine in.
Oh God.
I'm having fun this episode, but I do not feel good about myself.
Oh no. You just need to get that your self-hatred out in Fight Club. An influencer Fight Club. We are
of course talking about Influencer Fight Club, where we find out since it's Carly's first night, she has to fight. That's how it works.
Which seems a little sketchy considering that she brought Carly here without telling her that
what
Fight was.
Yeah. I'm also very curious. Harper's not an influencer, but she's here.
Does she have to be at Influencer Fight Club?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Is she allowed to be an Influencer Fight Club, or has Sonny Johnson broken some rules?
She is like a fashion designer. Maybe she is kind of an influencer.
True. She designed clothes for Double Dutch and some drag queens.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Carly has to fight. We go back to Freddie's apartment. I have it written out of context, but it was just making me laugh. Freddie is like talking to Spencer about this. Now they have to help Millicent, and Spencer's like, well, what do you know about relationships? You haven't had a girlfriend in years. And Freddie's like, I have a girlfriend right now. And Spencer goes, that doesn't sound right.
And Spencer goes, ooh, she didn't tell you? Gosh. Oh, God.
No, we love Pearl. Pearl needs
we
to
love
appear in
Pearl.
more things.
We love Pearl.
Yeah.
She's so great.
Pearl is my favorite character in this show.
Pearl's great. I love Pearl, and I want her to stick around for a long time.
Yes.
But, Millicent wants to wear costumes to do their presentation. We don't know. I don't think we know what book they're presenting on.
No. She says the 1650 something tragedy called A Christmas Pie for Emily.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So they're, of course, presenting on the 1650 tragedy, A Christmas Pie for Emily.
And they're going to be dressing up as Emily and the pie.
Also, I think they said this play was Irish. So what I'm wondering is, what a niche thing to have for your English class. Like, an old Irish play from the 1600s. Like, I know they do Shakespeare in middle school, but that seems really niche.
Yeah, an Irish play is much more niche than Shakespeare.
They might not have even spoken English then. I mean, it was Ireland in the 1600s.
No, they don't speak English in Ireland. Even now.
They do now. They spoke Irish before, though.
I was making a joke, Harrison.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, if I'm allowed to say that I drink before going to the mall or the gym or anything I do, Zach is allowed to say that they don't speak English in Ireland. To any of our Irish listeners, if you're around...
we appreciate you.
Or we appreciate you, but it's weird that you're listening to this if you don't speak English.
Yes. If you don't speak English.
If you don't speak English.
Which you might not.
Yeah. Yeah, but so Freddie wants to convince Millicent to not be into D-Money anymore. A tall task, because, I mean, he's so cool.
He's the coolest.
Yeah, so he says to her, I put his photo in some age-increasing software to see what he'll look like when he's older, and he holds up this Gollum-ass photo of D-Money.
Yeah.
And Millicent sees this photo of him looking truly like a hobbit that has been ravaged by his love for the One Ring to rule them all. And she goes, "Aw, can you do it with my photo? Imagine us growing old together."
Well, it makes sense because I imagine Millicent wants him to love her the way he would love the One Ring, you know? So
I don't know, that was not a great Gollum voice, but you know what? We're going to go with it. Yeah, Mark is better at it than I am.
Yeah.
What if we just did it and pretended it was you? What if I did a voice and we were like, good voice, Zach?
What if we just did an entire episode as Gollum?
Oh, God, no.
That would get so annoying so quickly.
Welcome to Rewatch Parties.
Oh, that was good. Nobody ever does the Gollum part.
The One Ring. Today we're talking about the One Ring, precious.
Oh my god.
And I will
So
stop
beautiful.
that now, but thank you very much. Yeah, after his one attempt at breaking her crush, Freddie decides to tell her the truth because he feels like she deserves to know that D-Money's using her. And Millicent says, "Why would I want to know that? You ruined everything!" And like storms off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we go back to the gym where Carly is gonna fight Sonny Johnson.
Yep.
But she doesn't want to do it. She's like feeling scared, and then they show her the video that Chris, the prank king, posted. Prank Prince, sorry.
The prank prince, first of his name.
The prince. This fraudulent Christmas prince. I'm sorry. It's a quote from The Christmas Prince. Anyway, yeah, they show her the video where the prank prince is making fun of her. Oh yeah, also he enters the room because he's been stalking Carly. Yeah, she punches, I'm forgetting the sequence of events.
I think she punches Sonny in the face, which is like the first rule of Fight Club is don't punch anyone in the face. The rule don't talk about Fight Club is an obvious given, so it's not part of the
she doesn't say
rules.
don't punch someone in the face. The rule is protect your face.
Yeah, that's true. Right.
So she did not follow her own rule.
Well, there's a moment Sonny Johnson says like, "You're gonna hear from my lawyers because I'm so proud of you."
Yes.
So she's proud of Carly for finally enacting her anger on someone else through violence.
Yes, of course.
And then the prank prince enters, saying he pranked everyone by filming the Fight Club. And they're like, "What do you mean?" You said, "Well, I stalked Carly to this location. And now I'm going to post about your influencer Fight Club."
Yeah.
What a weirdo.
Yeah. His understanding of pranks is tenuous at best.
Like most YouTubers who do pranks.
He's like the kind of guy who would say just kidding and say it was an epic prank.
Yeah.
Hey, do you like it when I throw trash on your face? No? Well, it's an epic prank, so you're not allowed to be mad at me.
I'm gonna walk up and pee on your house. Epic prank.
It sounds like you're being sarcastic, but both of those sound like pretty epic pranks to me. I'm no epic prank expert, but they sound pretty epic.
We need to start a prank channel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what we need. We need to start a prank channel.
We need to start a prank channel, but to tie into one of our other spin-offs, it's just catfishing people while scatting.
Yes.
And
then we invite them to clown prom. It all comes full circle.
Can you imagine if we started scatting at clown prom?
And then all the other clowns start joining in.
Yeah.
That'd be such an epic prank. Oh God.
We've truly lost all tethers to reality.
Yep.
So, what I thought would happen was they would just beat him up here because he's already there. They would just get rid of his phone and throw it away. Maybe they'd have to face the consequences later. But no, they just cut away. That's the end of the scene.
They cut away. They go back to Carly and Harper's apartment. where Harper's telling Carly to let out her anger, and Carly starts to punch a pillow and complain about all the things she's angry about.
Yeah, she starts complaining about Chris, and then she starts devolving into like other things.
Yeah.
And then it cuts back, and it's like been like some time later. Her hair is like a mess.
Yeah.
She looks like Gollum searching for the One Ring.
Harper is
She starts ranting about Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Harper is no longer super into it. She's just kind of like reading on her phone while holding up the pillow.
Yeah.
But Carly now knows what she wants. She wants to find and kill Chris the Prank Prince. And Harper seems to be in support of it, even though it seems like a cry for help to me, personally.
Yeah.
This episode has a very strange relationship with violence. I hope that Esther Pavitsky and the rest of the creative team at iCarly are not in no secret fight club.
I hope they're okay.
Yeah.
I hope they're
Physically
okay.
and mentally.
Me too. But we go over to I was about to say Spencer and Freddie's apartment. No, it's just Freddie's apartment. Spencer lives alone in a much nicer apartment.
Yep.
Where Millicent is in her literary outfit. Derek, I'm no longer calling him D-Money because he's been so
unworthy
mean
of the money
to
name.
Millicent. Yep. He arrives and she confronts him about everything that's been going on, about him using her and him saying, now that I'm nice to her, she does, you were right. I'm nice to her and she does whatever I want. And Derek goes, I was talking about my cat. She wasn't behaving. And the trainer said to be nicer. And now she does what I want. And they all go, oh,
this makes sense.
Yeah.
And you know what? We're sorry for judging you.
I'm sorry for judging you, D-Money. You're obviously worthy of the name D-Money.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I will say there were some clues because, one, if you are like stringing this girl along so she does all the work.
Yeah, why would you talk about it?
Yeah, weird thing to talk about it with your mom.
Yeah.
In front of her and her
house.
father.
That was clue number 2. In her house, in the open. In
the Alcove of Secrets.
In the Alcove of Secrets. I did think it was super weird when he was like, you're right, Mom. I can totally manipulate this girl.
Yeah.
Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss.
Yeah.
D-Money is a girl boss.
Yeah.
I won't elaborate, but he is a girl boss.
We will not elaborate any further.
Yeah. But they do sort of ask, like, well, why were you making Millicent do all the work? And he said, she offered to do the work, and she's smart and good at that stuff. I'm good at having cool hair.
Yeah. He says he wanted to make her happy because he thought she just like wanted to do all the work.
Yeah.
Because he does have a crush on her.
D-Money is into Eminem.
Yeah.
Hey.
The way I thought this might go was like he would apologize and she would believe him, and then like secretly he would be like, aha, little does she know that I don't even have a dog. It was all to gaslight her.
It did feel
I was like, we're really just gonna say that and not have him like provide any proof of that whatsoever.
Yeah. I do prefer the D-Money redemption arc.
Yeah, I liked it too. Yeah. I prefer him being kind of a himbo.
Yeah, I like it. I love a himbo.
Just like J-Money, just like his spiritual predecessor.
Yeah, I love a himbo, and I love a character named something Money.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm all good with this ending.
You don't understand how fucking crazy we went the first time we heard D-Money.
But we do have to talk about the other ending of the show.
Right.
Because Carly and Harper decide they're going to get their revenge on Chris the Prank Prince.
Yes. Harper catfished him. She pretended to be into jazz and invited him to get fireworks.
It was like it was the same like catfish profile that she was talking about earlier.
Her scatfishing profile.
Her scatfishing profile. And she brings him to the same warehouse that the fight club was in. Yeah. And he's like, oh, Carly, you're here. I didn't know you were also into illegal fireworks. That's awesome.
Chris is he's not a very smart man.
He's
very bad at this.
Yeah.
He's very bad at life.
And then they like talk about the whole thing. They start, talking to him. They're like, what you did was not right about exposing our influencer fight club.
Yeah.
At one point, Sonny Johnson says something that kind of tickled me, which was, this was the only thing that made me happy, and you took it away from me. And my only thought was, you don't need a secret fight club to do this. This is a thing you're allowed to do.
They give the
fun.
prank prince a very stern talking to.
Well, here's my other thing. Sonny Johnson saying this was the only thing that made me happy. She's a happiness influencer. She's a joyologist.
Well, in fairness, she does say that this is the way she lets go of her anger.
But it is her like final resort, but final and only.
Her entire like mantra is just hit something.
That's true. It is sort of telling on yourself.
The signs were there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have a stern talking to him, and
then they like expose the whole thing, and Chris is like, "Wait, you're telling me there's no illegal fireworks here?" And Harper's like, "Yeah, there's no illegal." Did you really think that? Were you not suspicious at all when we told you to come get illegal fireworks at the same exact warehouse that the Fight Club was in?
Not a smart man.
He's an expert at 4D chess.
Yeah.
This guy.
But so then they assault him. They just beat him up.
Yep, they beat him up, and Carly and Harper take a selfie of themselves in front of the carnage, which that's worse than
incriminating.
I feel like that is worse than like word getting out that you're at an influencer fight club. It's a picture of you like doing a selfie, like, oh hey, selfie time, in front of like a bunch of people literally beating up this one guy.
Yeah. Watch as we break his body.
Yes.
All of them, by the way, I don't know if we said this, they bring out all the influencers who were in the fight club.
Everybody
so this is
there.
fully like a 20v1 smackdown.
Yeah, I mean, it starts off and it's just like Carly, Harper, and Sonny, and then they like do the whole thing where one of them was like standing by the door this entire time and blocked the way out, and then they all come out from the shadows or something like that.
And just attack him.
Yeah.
This poor nerd. Just getting at his face.
I mean, I don't have much sympathy for him, but
I was gonna say.
I mean, I don't have sympathy for him getting punished, but holy crap, they chose real violence.
Break his face.
Yeah. And then we have one final scene where Carly is talking to Spencer about the events of the day. I think it's really funny that the final scene of like every one of these episodes are just like, let's just hang out in one of the locations and talk about what just happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're talking about the events of the day, and Spencer wants to prank so bad.
Oh right, yeah, because they're in the middle of Shay. What?
Yeah. And that reminded me, was there an episode? Right, there was an episode in the original.
Yeah, there was an episode in the original iCarly where Spencer starts pranking everybody, and he gets very into it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I had forgotten about that.
There's a whole musical sequence
in that episode
where he like pranks people and then starts dancing in front of them.
Oh my god! Wow.
You could have made that.
I'll show you the sequence after the podcast. After we finish recording. It's wonderful.
But that's the episode. Which means it's time for a very special segment we like to do here.
Sad boy of the week.
Sad boy of the week.
I'm gonna be honest, I was not thinking about sad boy this week. It kind of snuck up on me, which it never does.
I have a nominee, of course.
Yes.
Chris, the prank prince himself.
Jeez.
See,
he is rather pathetic.
Yeah,
my first thought was Carly. Yeah. I feel like the prank prince, he's like sad, but not in a fun way. It's sad in he's like sad, but in a way that you'd like, he's just the way that you'd feel about like an incel.
No, I understand. He sucks, but also like he has the incel thing, but he seems to me too dumb.
Yeah, he's
too dumb to live.
He's too dumb to live in a way that makes like even the scene where he reveals he was like following Carly and he's done another prank. Like I do kind of like the tone of like, I got you again. They're like, what are you even talking about? He's like, well, I used this. I used this tracking stuff to find you here. And they're like, wait, so you're just fully stalking Carly? And he goes, yeah.
It's like this whole thing. It's like, I pranked you again. Yeah. And they're like, what are you talking about? And you're like,
this
Carly,
man needs role models in his
here to this abandoned warehouse.
I also really like when he gets to the warehouse and he's like, Carly, I didn't know you were into fireworks. And that he's like, after everything, he's still like, yeah, we're good friends, right, Carly?
Yeah.
Like I do kind of think I think I don't like him as a person, but I do subtly think that he's pretty funny in this
what?
episode.
That is a good argument in his favor.
Tyler also brings up a good point. That there's a certain character who's never been nominated, but I think makes a pretty strong case as well.
She's pretty strong.
That, of course,
here.
being Millicent.
Yeah, Millicent's pretty good. I love her having a huge crush on this guy.
Yeah.
And she plays it very well, how into D-Money she is. And also, I don't know if it's so sad, but it makes me happy, and it is, of course, linked to past sadness. She's the first one who calls him D-Money.
That is true.
It comes from her.
That is true.
That's true.
See, I'll bring up again. My first thought was Carly.
Oh, Carly,
because
definitely.
her whole thing.
Oh yeah, definitely. She's dripping in sadness.
If only just for the scene where she like is punching the same pillow for what I assume is hours on end, and it just evolves from Chris to Game of Thrones, and why the certain guy and why the guy at the end became king. Why Bran became king.
You're gonna make Bran king?
Well, in fairness, nobody has a more interesting story than Brandon.
Yes, we all know that like people are stories, and stories are magic, and stories make the world.
Yes.
Thank you for watching our TV show.
Oh God, that show, that ending.
Here's my only thing about Carly.
Okay.
No, I think she's a very good nominee and would be a very good pick. I think for me personally, she's just a little too like actually sad. Like I don't find it quite as funny as some of these other characters. The pillow thing is brilliant.
It is great. It's wonderful.
Yeah, but unless do we have other nominees? I'm just saying I think she's a very good nominee. I might not vote for her personally.
I'm trying to think if there's anybody else.
I was thinking maybe Sunny
Spencer, who's very into the politics at this at this middle school.
I thought of that, but I was like, other than that, does he? I mean, he gets very into pranking again at the end, and he must be stopped because he's a menace to society.
We learned that he can take naps with his eyes open now.
Yes.
Of course. And he speaks French now.
Yes, he's learning French.
There's a thing where
he says something and then starts speaking French, and then he says to Freddy, that was the same thing, but in French. I'm learning
I think
French.
it was like in reaction to finding out that D-Money has been using Millicent to do all the work or something like that.
Yeah. He says, like, we took him into our home and our family, and then says the same thing in French.
Yeah. And then goes, that's the same thing. I'm just learning French. I just wanted you to know that.
Yeah. Are we good to vote?
Yeah. Let's vote.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm kind of undecided at the moment.
I'm going to vote for Millicent because I think Millicent gave me so much joy in this episode, and she was low status in a way that she's not always low status.
Yeah, I was leaning towards Millicent as well.
I think the Prank Prince is very, very funny, but I think like my heart just wants to give it to Millicent.
Okay, I'm glad you guys have both voted for Millicent or are thinking of it. I don't know if you guys have officially cast your ballots. I was leaning towards the Prank Prince because I don't think Millicent was quite low status enough. It's for her to count in my mind, but I can see why.
It's really a toss up. I'm maybe what do I switch to the Prank Prince? Because I am like, really
Millicent
feeling the Prank Prince. I don't like him. And I just like, I really love Millicent having a huge crush and saying D-Money. I think the Prank Prince is very sad in a very funny way. This episode. It's hard. This is a hard one.
I guess you're the deciding vote here because I voted Millicent. Harrison has voted for the Prank Prince.
I think I'm gonna. You know what? I think I'm gonna stick with my Millicent vote.
Okay.
All right.
Good for Millicent.
She's
for
Millicent.
The sad boy of the week. Yay! Tyler just put some like applause in the background right now. It's like a party. Yay!
Holy crap! Yeah, she's killing it.
Yeah.
Got nominated. She won Sad Boy of the Week. She has a new boyfriend.
Yeah.
It's great. Everything's coming up, Millicent.
All right. So, I guess that means we're coming to a close, unless you guys have any final remarks.
D-Money.
D-Money. D-Money. Well, thank you all for listening. Hope you enjoyed our Fight Club commentary. Remember, always talk about Fight Club unless you're in Fight Club. If you'd like to see more of us, please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Rewatch Party Pod. And until next time, I'm Harrison Bloom.
I'm Zach Horowitz.
And I'm Mark Green.
And until next time, keep rewatching and let the money lineage continue.
All hail D Money, first of his name.